Good morning, Ndewo, as we say in Igbo Nigerian language. Long life to you. That is what I hope and pray for you, wherever you may be today. I hope that you are happy to be walking amongst the living. Let us give thanks to the Most High for this wonderful opportunity called today. And let us take this opportunity to move our minds and our bodies in the perfecting presence of God. Right where we are, understand God is in the midst of us right now, creating divine order through divine love. Let us take a moment and fear nothing, seen and unseen. All the blessings of the universe, today we claim as our divine inheritance. If you don't know who you are, let me take a moment and tell you. You are powerful because guess what? You are the temple of God. And because you're that temple, that means you're powerful. God is love. That means you're a loving human being. God is peace. That means you're peaceful. God is joy. That means you're joyful. God is truth. You are wrapped in his truth, her truth. You are the manifestation of the divine. Greater is the power of the divine Chineke. You know, people have different names for God. Some call God Chineke, Olodumare, Tamona, Jiami, Katonda, Nyemi, Nkosi, Vuzile, whatever name you have for God. Greater is that power in your body than any affliction in the world. Know that. Greater is the power of the Most High in your mind than any condition in the world, because you know we get conditioned. But greater is that power, the power of me, I call God Chineke, in my body than any affliction in the world. This power renews me, reaffirms me, and reassures all that I am. All that I am, God is. All that I is noble, I am. It is this truth that I claim as my divine inheritance. And together, wherever you are, I don't know what your spirituality is. I don't know what you believe in life. Let us all say amen. Ise, ashe, whatever that may be. That means you concur with what I'm saying today. Stepping into your power. Stepping into your power is what we're going to talk about. That's the title of our workshop. And I'm Ambassador Dr. Wonyo Husibiri. And I'm the president of the African Women Mobilization Commission. And this is one of our workshops. Before I go into the nitty-gritty, I would like to tell you a little bit about this wonderful young organization. This is one of our workshops, stepping into your power. And you know what it is. When you step into something, you move forward. You don't step backwards. You know, when you're stepping into something, that means you're taking your power forward. That's what you want to do. Now, I dare say that sometimes you're going to have to step back just so you can see where you've been and where you want to go. But this organization of which I'm president, I'm excited about it because it brings women together. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're trying to achieve. The African Women Mobilization Commission, we call it OMSI. That's the abbreviation. Our vision, our mission is called MPACT. And this is the acronym for mobilization. We mobilize women all over the world because it is essential that women come together and change our condition in the world. See, you can't talk about what people are doing to you if you're not willing to do something about it. And you can't go it alone. We have to come together. So we mobilize little steps at a time. Right now, we're in Nigeria. We're excited about it. We're growing there. We're going to go into Ghana. We're here in the United States. That's what we do. We're excited about it and we're moving forward. Philanthropy is the other thing we do, and that is to help others. You know, part of being alive is not just to inhale and exhale. Part of being alive is to do for others. So we're engaged in philanthropy. We have a place in Nigeria called Maiduguri, where we're helping people who are displaced from their homes due to terrorism activities in northern Nigeria. That's our philanthropic work. Plus, we also help individuals who have handicapped individuals. We help people in the leprosy colonies, people who are sort of abandoned by society. We try as much as possible to be the cause and the reason of them rising. Remember, anything that needs to be done, not bragging about it, but it's the truth. Sisters can make things happen. So it is our responsibility to help others. And then advocacy. We advocate for women. We have a program that we call the doula program, and we're excited about that. We're getting ready to get that going. And that's to help pregnant women and understand what their rights are and help them so that they can have a healthy delivery and their children will come out healthy. That is one of our programs. But I'm excited about what we're doing today, because we are engaged in training. And the training for today is entitled, before I go any further, our mantra is power. Power. You can't underestimate the importance of power. Powerful, outstanding women empowering regions. We want to empower women everywhere. So I just didn't want to forget that. That is our mantra, power. So now this is what this workshop is about. We have, as a matter of fact, we have different training workshops. We have the communication workshop, and we have a powerful sister who does that program, and that is Donna Page Riley. You have to take her workshop. It's not a joke. She will teach you what it takes for you to move forward, for you to be able to communicate better, because communication is so important, and so we need to know about that. And then the personal development, of which I am the trainer. Stepping into your power is part of the personal development. Then trauma and recovery, which is Dr. Monet. Simona Monet, she's the one that's going to present a workshop on that. Then we have grant writing. I teach grant writing, and we also have other people who teach that. And then we have financial literacy. And of course, I talked about the doula program. These are 6-week increments, and it will be very good for you to take those workshops. So today's workshop, personal development. Now, there are 6 parts to the personal development. And it's important to know, what is personal development? Why do we need personal development? Personal development are those actions that you take to move you from the valley. I always say, move you from the valley up to the mountaintop. Actions that you advance your proficiencies, perspectives, and boost your value of life, the value of your life. Personal development is not something that you take lightly. As a matter of fact, it affects everything that you do. And so you need to pay attention today. Take notes wherever you are. If you don't have your paper, go get it. Take a moment, get some coffee, chill, sit down, and learn something today. Let me say, you may have your own ideas already how you can engage in personal development for your own well-being. That's good. I don't question that. But these are tidbits I'm going to share with you today that you can add to your repertoire, and it's going to be helpful to you. It's nothing, you can never know too much. So what you're going to learn today is going to add to what you already know. At least that is my hope. So let's get started. Stepping into your power is renewal, reaffirm, reassure, redemption, reformation, and resolution. Those are the 6 workshops that I give that are parts of the Stepping into Your Power series, right? But today we are going to focus on just one of them, and that is renewal. Renewal. First of all, I just want to say this to you about renewal. If you don't understand who you are, let me just briefly tell you who you are, so you can understand why, if you don't think you're there, then you must renew who you are. You can't stay in the valley. You must move to the mountaintop. And it's a process. If you don't know the process, listen and learn. You, first of all, when you came into this world, you had a contract with Divine Mind. Yes, you did. See, this is the temple. We are the temple of the Most High. And as such, we already came out powerful. We were born great. That is the intention. If God is powerful, then that means you're powerful. As the temple, that power rubs off. You are a manifestation of the divine. Know that, regardless of what people have said to you. Know that. You started, when you came into this world, you started up to be, you started out to be great. That was the intention. That was the objective of you being here. You're not here just to inhale and exhale. You're here to be powerful, to do things, to be a source of good in the world. Now, the tragedy is sometimes people would kind of make you think differently, and you start believing that. Okay, you are now, some of us, and I hope every one of us is bitten now and then by the want more bug. You know what that means? I want more. You know, there's sometimes that we get a lot of things. We do a lot of things. We go to school. We go to we get big jobs, and we buy cars. And we get all sorts of things, and somehow we're still not satisfied. So we set out to achieve more goals beyond the wealth, beyond the possessions of power, but still find ourselves feeling a little ho-hum and unfulfilled. Well, renewal is essential for you to go beyond where you are, to go into the unlimited world of your potential. Where you are is a temporary place. It's not permanent. You can change it. If you're not satisfied, change yourself. Don't worry about what people will think. And that is practically the biggest problem we have. What would they think? If you're not satisfied with where you are, then you have to change it. Be about it. Be about it. Don't let people convince you that you can't go beyond where you are. So how do you go about doing all of this? And if renewal involves improving your self-awareness. It's the key. What we do in life is to be aware of who we are. If you're not sure of who you are, you're not sure where you're going, you cannot set goals. Goals direct you to where you want to be. But you have to know what your purpose is. Who am I? What do I want? What do I want to be? I want to tell you this incident that happened. When I was in Michigan, I used to teach on campus. I do online now, but I used to teach on campus. These master's students in business administration and organizational management. And I had three kinds of students. You have the students who come in there, they're boisterous, they already know what they want, they're excited to be in the class. Then you have those who, they sort of know what they want, and they sit and they wait until somebody stirs them up. And as soon as somebody stirs them up, then they start talking. Then you have those who are not sure, they're not clear what they're there for. And it doesn't matter what happens, they just sit there. So there's one, Adrienne, this young woman, her name was Adrienne. I don't want to give her last name because I certainly don't want to expose who she is. But Adrienne will come to class and sit, and as much as I noticed that she liked to be way in the back. As much as possible, as far as if she could meld with the wall, she would do that. She didn't want to be seen. She didn't want to be heard. She just wanted to sit there. And every time that the class was over, she was the first to escape, because I had a tendency, if I find a student is very curious or had asked some questions, I may hold them back and ask them, extra questions. Excuse me when I say, I sort of get excited when I talk. But anyway, so this young woman was trying to escape and I called her back. One other thing I noticed is that she never came with her computer. Everybody else had a laptop, but she never came with a laptop. She would sit there and listen and maybe fall asleep now and then. And so finally I did ask her, and this has to do with self-awareness. I asked her, I noticed that you never come here with your laptop. What are you here for? You're not engaged. You're not participating. You don't ask questions. I don't see you addressing anything. What are you here for? Are you sure you're part of this class? She said to me, I want to be honest with you, Dr. Siberi. I don't think I belong here. I'm only here because a recruiter approached me and told me that maybe I could do well. This is a master's program. I barely finished high school. I barely finished college. I barely had my first degree. And here I am doing masters. I don't know what I'm here for. I said, well, let me get this straight. What do you mean you barely finished? or high school. She said, yeah, well, you know, they passed me. And then they passed me for my BS degree. I don't think I belong here, but I'm just coming because, you know, I took financial aid. I have to pay back. So I said, well, if you're not achieving, you're going to have to pay back, but you'll have nothing to show for it. If you will not look at your life as you don't belong and look at it as, okay, I belong here. What do I need to do so I can do better? You will be a good student. But what you have done is you have no self-awareness. You're not sure what you're here for because you're basing it on what other people think. Do you think you deserve to be educated? Well, I guess so, she said. I said, well, then you have to change your attitude. You have to change your attitude. You cannot set goals. You cannot be in this class because you have no goals. You have no plans. You're not going to find fulfillment. You're going to walk out of here every single time you come to class. You feel, I'm nothing. What am I here? Well, let me tell you why you're here. Why you're here is not because of what they said to you. Why you're here is not because of what I may say to you. Why you're here is because of what you say about yourself, what you believe about yourself. Your own direction is more important than what I say or what anybody says. Self-improvement means that you know exactly what you are, what you want. And don't worry about what other people think or how you got where you are. Don't focus on how you got where you were because somebody else put you in there. If you're there already, if you don't want to be out there, don't step out so you do less. Step out if it's not the right place for you to be because you're not going to do well. But if you're there and the objective is to do better in life, then stay there and work like crazy to make sure that you belong. I told her, don't come back again without a laptop. I'll help you if you need help. I'll coach you. But if you come back again without your laptop and you have this same attitude, you cannot blame anyone if you don't make it in life because it's really up to you. You define yourself. You speak for yourself. That you go beyond what people say. It's really up to you. See, the universe will always embrace what you believe. What you believe will become a reality if you work for it. If you believe it. If you don't believe it, why should anybody believe you? If you're not chocolate for, that's an African proverb. What you seek, so shall you find. What are you seeking? You come in here and sit in here all day. And we do that, all of us. That's probably, if I may use it, that's one of our crimes. We just walk through life. Some of us do that. You get up in the morning, you drink your coffee, you sit outside, whatever you do, you have no objectives, nothing that you want to do because you're just satisfied where you are. So self-improvement means that you have to be aware of who you are and where you want to go, not based on what other people say, but what you want to say, where you want to go. Get your pen, get your paper, write it down. Let's see, life is so short, and you know that. It's a cliche. Life is short. That's the truth. It is short. If you have no objectives, tomorrow will become, yesterday will become tomorrow, tomorrow will become just as unfulfilling as today because you didn't plan for anything. So self-awareness means knowing where you want to go. If you're riding a bicycle, you just don't go downhill and just keep going. You must direct the bicycle. Your life is that bicycle. You must direct it so you don't hit a tree, so you don't fall off the bike. And that's what happens when you are not aware of where you want to be or what you want to do. Now, we are so caught up sometimes with what we want to do. When you have made sure that you've written down and you know precisely what you want to do, then sometimes you have to just chill. If I use that expression, take the time and rest. The body needs rest sometimes. The mind needs rest sometimes. I should talk to myself because I work and work and work, you know. But you know what I do? I do sometimes talk to myself. All right, okay, Uwa, it's time to take a break. You must take a break now and then. We spend so much time chasing our dream, which is not a bad thing. It's okay to chase it. But we have to renew ourselves. We have to inhale and exhale. Take a moment and just say, all right, there's another day. Do what you can in one day, but at some point, cut out. At some point, you have to cut out and just take a moment. Get away from the noise of the world. Find a quiet spot and just find a quiet spot. Just let it out. You don't have to be emotion every minute. You don't. Self-renewal means that you must take a break now and then so that you don't overheat. You don't overdo it, because we do tend to overdo it. Okay? The next principle is reveal your purpose. You know, the fifth principle of Kwanzaa, for those of you who know Kwanzaa, the fifth principle is Nia, N-I-A, Nia, purpose. Have a purpose. What is your purpose in life? Your purpose is what drives you. What drives you is your purpose. It gives you life. It gives your life meaning. So what is your purpose? And I'm not just talking about my purpose in terms of what I want to do creatively, the work I want to do. What is your purpose of being here? You cannot know how to renew your life if you don't know what your purpose is. Because you become so gullible when you're not clear on your purpose. You become so gullible. People can set that for you. When I was in high school, there were a group of girls who were, the cool girls, and I always wanted to be a part of the cool girls. You know how you are when you're young, you just want to be a part of it all, right? And I would follow them wherever they went. I had no purpose. Whatever they said happened, that's what happened. Whatever they say we do, that's what we do. That's what I did. Until one of them said something. Our dormitory was every year we have this inter-dormitory sports. Quite frankly, our dormitory, including these ladies, these girls, we were really terrible. We couldn't run, we couldn't do anything. At least I knew I could, but they didn't know. So they said something that really moved me. And that was, they said, well, I guess we're going to be last again. Our dorm will be last again for the for the sports celebration that day. And usually your families, everybody will come. And they were resigned to the fact that we are going to lose. Well, to me, that wasn't my purpose. My father was going to be there, and my father was fierce. I did. Now, he's the one who told me you don't have the right to die until you know the difference and never live anywhere unknown. How can it be that he will come and see our dormitory, failing, being the last? Usually that's what we are. We're always last because, we can't coordinate anything. These were some awkward girls. But to me, they were cute and they were nice. They were popular. So I wanted to be like them. But that particular day, I didn't want to be like them. I didn't want to accept the fact that we're going to fail. My mother was going to be there. My father was going to be there. My purpose was not going to be the last, to come last and be the laughing stock of the rest of the school because people are so used to this particular dormitory failing. I said, no. I said to them, no, we must have a purpose today. We have to win. And they laughed. I said, no, we have to. So who's going to run, they said, because we have to do a relay. I said, well, I'll run the last lap. They were all laughing. I said, this is serious. I'll run the last lap. And we are going to win, I promised them. That was my purpose. Whether I achieved it or not was irrelevant. That was my purpose. I wanted to do something special, not just for me, but to show them that if you believe in anything, you must fight for it and you can get it. So the day came and everybody, the field was full, parents everywhere. We were all excited. It was time to go. The four ladies, there were three girls started, and I had the last leg, and I kept looking in to see if I can see my parents, and I didn't want them to laugh at me. I didn't want them to feel disappointed. My purpose that moment was, I was going to win. We are going to win. You determine if you win or lose. Your purpose must be, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And how are you going to win? And when we started that relay, I'm telling you, With that purpose in mind, I took off like you will not believe. When the last lady, the third girl, came and gave me the baton, I just waited for her. You know, she was kind of slow, but I knew I had to make up. And when I got that baton, ladies, gentlemen, I'm telling you, I took off like a rocket, because in my mind, this is my purpose. I'm going to win today. And when I took off, we won. We came first. They couldn't believe it. At that time, I wasn't thinking as I'm thinking like now. I was a kid, but I was so proud of myself. Oh my God, I can't believe it. This happened. I did it. I started thinking, well, if you believe in anything, fight for it, you'll get it. Have a purpose, ladies and gentlemen. That is what the fifth principle of Kwanzaa is. Remind yourself that you're not just here to inhale and exhale. You have a reason to be here. What is it? Find what that is and go after it with all of your capacity. Build a new blueprint. A new blueprint. See, most of us go through life living the blueprint other people have laid for us. You guys know what I'm saying. People tell you what I call it people shoot on you. What you should do, what you shouldn't do, shoot. Don't let people shoot on you. Don't follow the blueprint of someone else. Follow your own. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be crude about it. But follow your blueprint. Because when you do that, when you follow your blueprint, then you start living life according to your own dictates. And you find that life is a little bit more fulfilling when you live it according to what you have set for yourself, rather than following what other people want you to do. There's nothing worse than the word. If you have this word, can't, delete it. It serves no purpose. Can't is debilitating. You can start something and say, oh, I can't finish it. I can't do it. Once you put that in your mind, you can't. No matter what you do, you will not feel it. You will not finish it as long as you dying and with the word can't. If you're not choke off, for what you seek, so shall you find. There's nothing that you want in this world, ladies and gentlemen, that you cannot have. Now, that's the truth. Who wants something they cannot have? Everything that you want, you can have. But you have to draw the roadmap to it. And there's nothing that exists anywhere that anybody can have that you cannot have. Nobody owns this world. Nobody owns brain. Nobody owns anything. Those people who are successful, please understand, when you are sleeping, they are burning the midnight oil. There is nothing that is too good for you. You just have to be prepared to work for it and lay down the plan, the blueprint. There's nothing worse than not being able to achieve because somebody said, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You know, there are so many people that the parents draw the blueprint for them. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a lawyer. You're going to be a this. You're going to be a that. And you spend all your life trying to be something that somebody mapped out for you. And then you find this is not going to make you happy. This is not what you want to do. So it's so important that you understand that you have the responsibility to build the blueprint of your life. Because if you're not successful, don't blame anybody. No, it's true. Don't blame anybody for your lack of success. If you're not willing to work for it, then don't blame anybody. See, not all of us can be rich. It's okay. It's okay. Don't go after life just so you'll be rich. If you can sustain yourself, you have food to eat, you have a good, decent place to eat, to sleep, and you have a decent car to get where you want to go, that's half the battle. Everything else is bumps upon a healthy living. Healthy living is not represented by all the big wealth. And some of us just get so wrapped up with, I got to do this, I have to be this, I have to be that you forget what's important is to just be. Just do enough to make sure that you're having a healthy life. Don't kill yourself in the process. Because sometimes when you follow somebody's blueprint, they have something for you that you may not be able to achieve, and you're going after it, and you can't. Not everybody has to go to college. There's some people making more money than college graduates. Find a skill. Find something, a trade. Go get it. You may not be that doctor your mama wants you to be, or that lawyer that wants you to be, but you could be a heck of a plumber and make just as much money. You can be a heck of, I always say to people, the greatest artist in the world is that artist that draws that white line on the road that we are all drive on. Everybody knows that little piece of art. Not Van Gogh. I don't even know what Van Gogh, I've never seen a real Van Gogh art. But I tell you, when I get in my car and I'm driving, I see that little white line. That's the greatest artist. Build your own blueprint. Determine for yourself what direction your life will go. Don't let other people do that for you. I'm going to take a moment now, and I'll be right back. I just want to play a video so you can just a brief video about OMSI. I'll be right back. Yes, join our movement. We're trying to do things, make things happen in the world of women. And I am back. It is my excitement to be back to continue our conversation today. Renewal, build your blueprint. That's what I talked about earlier. Don't forget the importance of designing your own life. It may not be perfect, but it's yours. You designed it. You be it. Go after it with all of your capacity, because if you're successful, let it be on your own terms. I tell you what my father used to say, and I love him. My dad is an ancestor now. My dad always tells you, this is what I would like you to do. Here's an idea. And then he'll say, flourish it. If you tell him, well, Dad, see, that's not quite what I want to do, he says, flourish it. Do whatever it is that you want to do, but be good at it. Be the best at it. I had a young man who who drives a trash truck here. He's always singing. When I see him, he's always singing, and he's a trash rubbish remover. So one day I just took coffee to him, and he was so happy that I approached him. He says, a lot of times people do not even look at me because I move trash. I say, yeah, but you're always smiling. You're always singing. He says, yeah, this pays the bills, Mama. This pays the bills. So I'm happy to have a job. There are people who don't have jobs. Do I want to be a trash pusher, a trash remover all my life? No. Bet I do whatever I have to do to get me to where I need to be. Sometimes you may be where you don't even want to be. You may have big ambitions. But as long as you're going after it, and you have to do whatever you have to do by any means necessary. Never be ashamed of where you are. Never be ashamed of where you are, because you know what? Where you are could be a step that you need to take before you can go to the next ladder. If you're climbing the steps, you can't get to the top. You can't jump to the top. You have to go step by step until you get to the top. So the steps may be not where you want to be. You may be at the bottom step, But the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth may not necessarily be bad. They may just take you to that mountaintop where you want to go. So stay on it, stay focused, don't give up. Don't ever give up. And please make sure that you are in charge of your life. Renewal also involves altering your habits. Woo! Many of us have habits that are so destructive that it will not allow us to step into our power. It holds us back. Many of you know, you may have some people in your family that drink. They drink. They smoke. They do all sorts of things that is not good for them. You know what drinking does to your liver. It damages your liver, but you keep doing it because it tastes, for the moment, it tastes good. Now, I'm not into I'm not an alcoholic counselor by any means, but I do know what it is. People that I know who drink, what it does to them. It damages parts of your organ. So it's very, very important. Some of the habits that you have, those little things that you do on a daily basis that keep you from moving forward. Check them out, write them down and see, what am I doing that's not helping me? Before you decide, I'm not good enough, I can't do this. Ask yourself, why am I not able to? What are some of the things that I could be doing that I'm not doing? Or some of the things that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing? Tony Robbins, if you guys know, he's a motivational speaker. He says that success is processional. It's the result of the series of small disciplines. Those little things that we do daily empower or diminish our ability to leave the valley. The valley, when I talk about the valley is when you're not doing well, when you're frustrated, when you're depressed. That's the valley. When you make excuses for your condition in the world, that's the valley. When you blame others for your condition in the world, that's the valley. That your success is entangled with doing the right things and leaving those things there. See, all of us have baggage. Some of those habits you have can be baggage. And we carry it with us. And we wonder, it's so hard to climb. It's so hard because you're trying to climb with baggage. You've got to empty out sometimes. Let some of those things go. Stop the drinking. It's killing your liver. Do what needs to be done and leave those things that you don't need. Take it out of that baggage you're carrying. Throw it out. Your bag will get lighter. Smoking, what can I tell you? Now, some people just love to smoke. That's okay. If you don't pay attention to what it does to you. If you want to move on in life, you've got to be healthy. You don't want to do anything that will shorten your life. You have to be very careful what you carry with you. And a lot of those things that are baggage, please let them go. They keep you in the valley. They don't allow you to move forward. Do those things that motivate, that empower, and take you up and lift you up. And self-talk. Some of the habits that you need to pick up is self-talk. That is very healthy. Self-talk is extremely healthy because you can be your own life coach. You can talk to yourself. Sometimes there's nobody to talk to. But you got you. Go look in the mirror. If you can't talk to anybody, talk to yourself. Go in the mirror, look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Say, hey, I've got this problem. Talk to yourself because you remember, right where you are, God is. So you are really talking to the Most High. If nobody else is around, God's always there. Chineke, whatever you call God, is always there. That's your best friend. So that's a habit you need to pick up. Self-talking. Because you can talk yourself into something positive and you can talk yourself out of something negative. Be your own counselor. Nobody knows your story but you. Nobody knows your story any better than you do. Let that be a habit that you pick up. How often do you talk to yourself? I don't know. It's up to you. I do that. God knows when I get so upset, I say to myself, pick your battles. Or what? Pick your battles. This is not it. This is not what you should be. You shouldn't be here fussing about. Pick your own battles and move forward. You can talk yourself out of anger. You can talk yourself out of stress. Go for a walk. Do those things that will decompress you. Do those things that will help you move away from negativity. Because I'm telling you, it's easy to succumb to negativity, but sometimes you can actually talk yourself out of it. So be about that. Gain some good habits and leave bad habits. Remember, as I say, your habits are those things that you do on a daily basis that can either diminish you or can raise you up. Sing to yourself. Why not? Those things are uplifting. Find a song, an uplifted song, and sing it. I do that all the time. I think I drive my family crazy. I just start singing. I come down singing. I end the day singing. Why? Because it does something to me. It tells me I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. As long as I have breath, as long as I can sing, as long as I can move around, that's good. So teach yourself those habits that will help you move you from the valley onto the mountaintop, which is where all of us want to be. Break your pattern. Sometimes we have patterns, we set patterns and we follow it. People do things in a certain way. They're called patterns. Okay, this is how I do it. These patterns can make or break you, because here's what's important, right? You can have patterns that may not be good, but you're so used to it, you're so comfortable with it, nobody can tell you different. You just stick to it. You don't want to take chances. You get stuck doing the same thing. You don't want to move. You don't want to do anything different. Don't tell me what to do. This is how I do my thing. Okay. May not be the best thing to do. You may have to try something new. You may have to break up your pattern. If you find a pattern that you're so consistent with this pattern that you're not getting anywhere, then it may be one aspect of it can be taken out. What are your patterns? Look at yourself. Ask yourself, what is it I do all the time? What is my system of living? Your patterns are your system of living. This is how I live. This is what I do. But what does that mean? How is that working for you? If you want to pray, if your pattern is to sit and pray every day, but you don't do anything, that prayer is a waste of time. People have that pattern. People have that pattern, and you pray and pray and pray and pray, but you're not willing to go and do anything. If you want a job, your pattern must not be prayer. Prayer is good, but you have to add another pattern, and that is, I pray, I go and do what I pray for. Because no matter how much you pray, if you don't have any action behind it, nothing happens. It's useless. You're wasting your time. Heaven helps those who help themselves. There's no manna coming from heaven. You can pray for it. You can sit back and wait for it. But if you don't do something for what you want, for what you prayed for, that becomes a debilitating pattern. Praying and sitting and waiting for it to happen. Praying is to give you the confidence to move forward and say, hey, dear God, this is what I want to do. Chineke, Olodumare, whatever, this is what I want to do. And I want you to give me the confidence. Help me to achieve what I want to achieve. And then you go after that stuff, something that you want. You've got the okay from the Most High. All right, go do it now. But you can't say, I want this, and then you sit back and wait for God to give it to you. That's not going to work. It doesn't work that way. So move, get ready. Don't be lazy. Get up, move your behind. Let's go. Do something with your time. Don't be stuck in bad habits. Don't be stuck in bad habits. We do get stuck in bad habits. I tell you that. I know. I know people who are stuck in bad habits. You can't tell them anything. This is how I do things. This my way or the highway. Okay, your way, but just wait and see, how is that working? How forward are you moving? Are you stuck? Sometimes we also hold ourselves back because our belief system is limited. Some of the things we believe about life, about who we are, limits us. There are certain things that we don't want to do because we think because we're a certain race, we can't do it because somebody is going to stand in our way. No. Nobody's standing in your way but yourself. Yeah, I know there are some social issues. I know that may hold you back. But when all is said and done, you ultimately are responsible for what you become. Oprah Winfrey says, what you think that you are, you become. And that's the same proverb that I shared with you. Before you're not awful, what you seek, you become. You can become the best version of yourself if you want it. Nobody can convince you otherwise. Nobody can tell you what you can or cannot do. There's no reason to believe that you cannot be a doctor if that's what you believe you can be. I went to the internet the other day and I'm looking at all these kids. When I was in Michigan, I had a program called Nkomi, where I taught little girls and boys African dance. Yes, I used to dance, believe it or not. Yeah, I did. I taught these kids how to dance, right? And I go to the internet, I'm looking at all these kids. This one is a doctor. This one is a lawyer. This one is an engineer. This one, I said, these little people. You have to believe that you can be something. And you will find that you will be that. When I was working with those kids, I always told them that. I'm not saying necessarily that it was what I said to them that made them what they've become. But I'm sure every Saturday that I put that in their heads, the only thing greater than you, what my father said, the only thing greater than you is the Son, the greatest manifestation of God. Nothing can keep you from being what you want to be, if you want it bad enough. Examine your limiting beliefs. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it because you're a woman. That's nonsense. Considering the fact that anybody who comes into this world comes through you, how can you be limited? The king came from you. All the world powers came from you, the woman. How in the world can you see yourself as a limited being? You create the kings and the queens of the world, the leaders of the world, the presidents and the ministers. All of them came through you. Woman, understand, you are powerful beyond measure. Don't allow society to limit you. When somebody says something to you, just remember, you just look at them and say, well, I know you have a mother. You came from a woman. So how can you allow yourself to be limited? Remember, you cannot talk about what people are saying and doing to you if you continue to allow it. It's a free world out here. Where do you belong? You have a right to be all that you can be. Don't limit yourself. Renewal means you have to let go of what you've been told that you cannot do. There's the warriors in my village, when they get ready to go to war, they start singing, Ayadiga Somba, hey, Mobugureke, hey, Ayadiga Somba, hey, Mobugureke. We are not afraid of anything. They are not afraid. They just step on faith. They walk forward. They just go. We are warriors. This is what we do. We are not afraid, not even of the big python. We're ready to fight. You have to say that to yourself. I am not afraid of anything. I can be all that I can be. You don't have to step on anybody on your journey, though. You have to be kind. Take your time. But understand that you are indeed a warrior of life. And you got to step forward. Don't be inhibited. Don't be intimidated. Let go of belief system that tells you that you can't, because that's all it is. It's someone else's belief system. Let it not be yours. All right. Be grateful. Oh my God, I cannot overstate this. Gratitude is part of your renewal. It's so necessary, because you know what it does? It helps you to adjust your mind from a scarcity mindset to an abundance one. When you think you have to share, that's abundance thinking mindset. When you look at life from that perspective, everything looks good and you feel good. You feel different when you give. You know, in my village of Nkoro, Nigeria, the farmers show gratitude by when they harvest their yams and vegetables and what have you, they tie it to a fence. They tie food to a fence so that those who don't have can come to that fence and take whatever they want. They feel so good to help. And that's what they say, my wealth is in my community. My wealth is not just mine. My wealth belongs to the community. That's part of gratitude, that you're part of a community and you give to that community. That's what they do. That's what they say. Akum dere opani. My wealth lies in my community. What I do for my community gives me enlightenment, gives me joy, brings hope to me. Be grateful, because you know what? Your cup runneth over. When you give, so shall you receive. Let us remember one thing. I don't care how rich you become in life. You will not leave this earth with all your goodies in your bag. It's not going with you. The only thing that will go with you, the only thing that you can you leave behind. Because let me tell you this, if you're wealthy and you leave your money, someone else is going to enjoy it. You understand? It's for somebody else. So all that stuff that you spend all your life, all your time accumulating, is going to go to somebody else, not to you. But if you leave your good name behind, everybody will remember. People will remember not the money that you had, but your good deeds. Part of your gratitude is to reach out and give to others. People don't forget who did good things for them. And guess what? You will never forget who you made happy. Gratitude helps you with your renewal journey. And then the other thing is, quite frankly, company that you keep. I cannot overstate this. I'm sure you know this. I don't have to tell you. Surround yourself with good people. People who have your interest at heart, and people you have their interest at heart. Don't spend so much time just to be a part of the crowd. You can have just one good or two or three good friends. You don't have to have an army of friends. You want to surround yourself with those people that bring love into your life, peace into your life, that don't stress you out, that are not gossip. They're just not calling you every day just to gossip about somebody. Because I tell you one thing, if you surround yourself with people who will lift you, they'll help you to see life in a positive way. They'll help you see life positively. And also they'll help you see yourself positively. When you hang around lazy friends, they'll grind your ambitions to a halt. They don't want to do anything. Misery loves company. And you know, when that new you, as you begin to renew yourself and you start to get away from them, they're not going to be happy. They're not going to like the new you that's emerging because you're leaving them behind. They want you to stay right there with them. Spiteful people will keep your blood pressure high. I keep you right there. Keep you securely with them. Don't leave me. They may even hate you when you become successful. Those are not the kinds of people you need to hang around. Those are not the kind of people that you need around you. Last but not least, I want to share. It's not the last really, but do not hesitate to face your fears. In your thrust, in your quest for renewal, do not hesitate to face your fears. You know, there's something they say that, some people die 1,000 deaths before death finds them. You allow your fear to kill you before death even finds you. Or you see a dog coming down the street and you freak out and you're running. You don't even know if the poor dog has any teeth. But you've decided, oh my God, it's a dog. It's a bulldog. He's going to bite me. And you go the other way. Or in you running, you attract the dog to you. Before you're afraid of something, make sure it's something that will be really detrimental, not just something that you're afraid of. You remember, I'm sure you remember when we were kids. You always tell Dad, can you look under the bed? Because you think there's a monster under there. Or can you look in the closet? But as you get older, you start looking down yourself to see if there's a monster there. And if you find there's no monster under the bed, you become a little bit braver. So now you're going to look in that closet when it's dark. And you're going to open it and see, well, guess what? There's nothing in here. Sometimes the fear is in your mind. It's not real. Your fear it's not always real. And you need to be aware of that. To renew yourself, you may have to get uncomfortable. You may have to get a little uncomfortable. You may have to go and meet people that you do ordinarily you will not even be in their company. You may have to make that phone call that you're nervous to make to call because you don't know what will be said to you from the other end. Go to places that will help you stand up straight. Learn a new culture, a new language. Learn something different. Release yourself from your fears. Be willing to be challenged. Life is nothing but challenges. It's okay if you're caught in the middle of it. Get a little uncomfortable. Don't be so afraid to live. Oh yeah, a lot of people don't want to go anywhere because of COVID and all that. So I can go, you can stay in the house and die. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Do those things that they want you to do. But don't stop living. I mean, don't stop living. That's right. You still got to live. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, become a philanthropist. Become a philanthropist. Help others. Because when you help others, you ultimately are helping yourself. Talk about the tradition of, I call it a tradition. There are people, that's all they do. They just love to help. Let that become part of your way of life. Help others. Because when you help others, you feel more fulfilled. And you find that, guess what? This life is really good. Because when it's your turn, people remember to help you. People will remember to help you. In closing, we have discussed several ways that you can renew yourself. These are not exhaustive. I'm sure you can come up with other ways to renew yourself. But I just want you to know that what you've learned today, if you add it to your repertoire, it will go a long way in helping you step into your power. Thank you for being a part of this workshop today, and I certainly look forward to seeing you again. I'm sure that you come to the next workshop. At least I hope that you do. What you answer to ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, is determined by what you believe in. What you answer to ultimately determines how far you are willing to go to be the very best that you can be, as you are designed by the divine mind to be. It is your inheritance, your divine inheritance, to be the best that you can be. Until I see you again September the 24th, I hope that you continue to renew yourself and be what the Creator wants you to be. In my language, we say, Yagazie. May all go well for you. Take care of yourselves, and please do stay renewed. Thank you.